I so enjoyed these presentations all day, and I think we accomplished a lot of what we wanted to in this conference, which was to show that what transpired yesterday, where we depicted what it's like to work in the arts, and today, where we said what work the arts have to say about work, unfortunately have become one and the same. Both are dominated by precarity and contingency and uncertainty. And sadly, this is probably going to be the last of the California Labor Lab's annual conferences because NIOSH, our funder, has been decimated. Um, and so um, the people who put this conference on, um, pardon me, are themselves prey to some of the same aspects of precarity that the people who've been depicted today in the various arts are, and who the artists themselves are, who were depicted yesterday when we talked about what it's like to work in the arts. So there's no escaping the extent of precarity. And, when Mad Men came out, I think um, I'm old enough to remember when offices were like that, although nobody in my family did that kind of work, but certainly that was an example of the kind of work people did in the 50s and 60s. And we look back on it with a bit of nostalgia, despite the pathology that it portrayed in the interactions among the people, because they could take a 2-hour lunch and not lose their job on occasion, or maybe even frequently. Um, there was security of employment. The American empire was still rising, and there was plenty of profit to be distributed to the white collars. Of course, in those days, it wasn't distributed to large sectors of the population, and that's something that the civil rights era tried to deal with. But now there's no escaping precarity, and so we'll close with that message. And Christina, you
Yeah, I
have.
just yeah, I just have a couple of things to say at the end since I was so moved by everybody's presentation today and yesterday. And one thing I'm left with, well, two things. One is the power that the arts have, the media has, and that each person who's presented, academics and artists, actors, writers, they have that power in their hands because when they put out their thoughts in one form or another and it lands, it means you have an opportunity to influence. How can you harness that power? How can you build that power? How can you turn some of these barriers around through that power? So that's one thought I have about it. And the other is, as artists and even academics studying the artists and art, you tend to be solo workers. Yes, academics have conferences and they make relationships through it, but it's important to find our peers and to build collectives and communities because that can create more power. So I'll leave it there. Thank you so much.
And thank you for our audience. And I'd like to especially call out our colleagues who worked on the conference, some of whom, like Christina, you've seen, but Alicia LaFrance, Michelle Beltran, Will Bellamy, and the rest of the California Labor Lab faculty and staff. So thank you all, and thank you to the panelists who gave up some of their spare time in order to educate all of us in such profound ways.